We are the anchors of Queer News Tonight, and this evening we discuss the queer headlines. Florida seems to be ground zero as Trump leans on Florida for key appointments, with figures like Susie Wiles, Marco Rubio, and Pam Bondi shaping his administration's future.
The Bears of South Florida's annual holiday celebration raises $100,000 for the LGBTQ community, offering a festive night of fun, music, and generosity.
Thanksgiving can be a pleasant or nerve-wracking, but comedian Alex Edelman hilariously pranks his family with fake coming out tales for 6 years straight.
Hallmark's inaugural Christmas cruise to the Bahamas celebrated inclusivity and the LGBT community with festive activities, actor panels, and heartfelt moments featuring Jonathan Bennett as host. He was crowned the Gay King of Christmas.
Alfredo Olvera challenges Rick Hoy for Broward Democratic chair, stressing the need for change to avoid future losses to Republicans. The election is on December 7th.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Queer News Tonight. This is the world's first and only LGBTQ plus daily evening television news, broadcasting live and available on demand on your favorite streaming channels. We're proud to announce that YouTube has recognized Queer News Tonight, certified by analytics company vidIQ, and we now have more than 10 million views on the only daily live queer news show in the world. We're proud that we have more than 1,000 new subscribers in October, and that Queer News Tonight has more YouTube subscribers than any other LGBTQ plus brand in Florida. Over 500,000 of you have watched this show in the last 60 days. We thank you for watching and supporting our voice in our community. It is Tuesday, November 26, 2024. We are live and literally out of the closet and into the headlines. So many of your important stories we're going to tell this evening on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first live daily LGBTQ evening news show, literally out of the closet and into the headlines on Queer News Tonight.
This is the world's first and only unedited live LGBTQ evening news show. Whatever happens unique in the LGBTQ news, you will see it and hear it.
Hotspots magazine, Happening Out Television Network, is a nonprofit 501c3 media company in the same model of PBS and NPR, but designed for the LGBTQ community. Our mission is to support the 11 pillars of our LGBTQ community. We want to inform and educate the key issues of lesbian, trans, Latino, Black, healthcare, seniors, students, faith, social justice, business, and queer culture. Help us support our community.
We are part of one of the largest LGBTQ nonprofit media companies in America, Hotspots Magazine and Happening Out Television Network.
In 2025, our magazine is celebrating 40 years of the LGBTQ experience, and our television news, talk, and entertainment shows support our mission to educate the LGBTQ and broader community.
That's right, Greg, and let's meet tonight's anchors at Queer News Tonight. Let's welcome Von Biggs. I love his name. I've always loved his name. It's just like he could have been like a porn guy, or he would have been like a serious advocate that he is. You know what I mean? It was one or the other. You couldn't be in the middle with a name like Von Biggs, you know? He's a trailblazing advocate for health equity and HIV treatment. As community outreach coordinator at Holy Cross Health, he leads initiatives for the LGBTQ plus community and people living with HIV. His role as vice chair of the Ryan White Part A Planning Council and founding board member of Trans Ed underscore his dedication to inclusivity and systemic change. Known for his powerful public speaking, Von tirelessly champions the rights of marginalized communities, making him a respected leader in health equity and social justice. Welcome back, Von. Love you.
Love you too. Thanks for having me back. And again, twice.
I know, right? We're so lucky.
I know.
Next up, let's welcome Mark Pettitt. Mark is a pioneering traveler and coordinated the very first Pride Parade ever on the continent of Antarctica. He's also a former Mr. Sawmill Leather Sir. He and his husband Luke run linksbyluke.com, the chainmail harness and pride accessory shop. Welcome back, Mark.
Thank you. You look like an absolute stunning vixen tonight. I don't know what we did to deserve this outfit, but I am digging it.
I had sex in between filming.
And I
know.
There.
I have some explaining to do with my wife, right? Next up, let's welcome Andrew Lord. Second time at the table, baby, and killing it. Andrew Lord, he is an accomplished entrepreneur with expertise in marketing, hospitality, and entertainment. His mission is to empower brands through innovative strategies, creative excellence, and a steadfast commitment to client success. With a visionary approach, Andrew specializes in building dynamic solutions that enable businesses to thrive and stand out in competitive markets. Welcome back, Andrew. How you doing?
Thanks for having me. great.
You know, it's so funny because the last time we worked together, I said to you, do you only wear black? You're like, no, I don't. You'll see it the next time. He wears blue too.
Yes. Doesn't go further than that.
I love it. Next up, let's welcome Gregg Shapiro, an inductee into the Chicago LGBT Hall of Fame. Gregg is the author of 2 short story collections and 7 books of poetry. He's an entertainment journalist whose celebrity interviews and reviews run in a variety of print and online publications. Welcome back, Gregg. Any yummy interviews coming on the horizon that you can tell us about?
I can tell you, I'm actually wearing Cyndi Lauper on my chest. And you can read my cover story interview with Cyndi Lauper in the new issue of Grab magazine from Chicago. She is, amazing.
Her concert here was just ridiculous.
I cried.
She was so good.
Finish.
I can't. True Colors, I can't. I bawl.
And of course, this is tonight's lead anchor, FayWhat. She is a legendary events host, television and radio personality, and the host of the FayWhat show on Mondays. Welcome, Faye. How's it going?
I am happy as hell. I got to get as much love as possible because come Thanksgiving, I'm stuck with a room full of Trumpers. So send me love, people at home. Send me love. I'm not even kidding, Gregg. Don't cry. I'm serious. So we are the reporters for Queer News Tonight, and this evening we begin with the queer headlines. The LGBTQ plus community in South Florida and across America is diverse. Our community across the world is vast. And here are the bullet points of the queer news for today, Tuesday, November 26, 2024. Let's begin this evening by queering up politics. Here's why Trump is making America Florida again. Donald Trump's latest wave of appointments highlights his growing reliance on Florida to shape his administration. From his White House chief of staff to the Secretary of State and National Security Advisor, the Sunshine State is at the heart of his second-term vision. Insiders are even joking that he's, quote, making America Florida again, referencing T-shirts popularized at campaigns events celebrating Florida's Republican dominance. Trump recently nominated former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi as U.S. Attorney General, who will be replacing former Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz. Critics and allies note that proximity to Mar-a-Lago, Trump's political hub, plays a role in his decisions. However, according to an insider, Trump's picks ultimately reflect loyalty to his America First reform agenda. A central figure in this Florida-centric team is Susie Wiles, Trump's incoming White House chief of staff. Wiles has long been a GOP powerhouse in Florida, credited with Trump's 2016 Florida win, Ron DeSantis' gubernatorial victory, and shaping Florida's conservative reputation. GOP operative Larry Casey has praised her political acumen and long-standing relationship with Trump. The Florida influence doesn't stop there. Marco Rubio, a Miami native, will become Secretary of State, and Mike Waltz, a former Green Beret from Jacksonville, will serve as National Security Advisor. Other appointees include Miami-based Sergio Gore, publisher of Trump's books, and Santa Rosa Beach resident Mike Huckabee, who will be ambassador to Israel. This Florida-centric strategy reflects not only Trump's personal connections, but also the state's transformation into a Republican stronghold. With Trump expanding GOP dominance and DeSantis' conservative policies reshaping its identity, Florida has become the ideological blueprint for Trump's America. As transition spokesman Brian Hughes summed it up, quote, Florida's a proven model for success, end quote. He didn't consult with the Florida LGBTQ community on that one. You know, Florida is the proven model of being That's what we're the proven model of being, okay? We are the proven model of having people in it that you can manipulate, right? And turn to do whatever you want. And that is what Trump does in his world. I'm still waiting for him to appoint the Hello Pillow guy. Who's that guy? The Mr. Pillow guy to something. He's going to be head of something. Just wait for it. It's just going to happen.
If the U.S. is becoming Florida, and I think it will, then get ready for some Florida-level education to happen all over the nation.
Oh my God.
Get ready for Florida-level violent crime and drug use. Get ready for our insurance problems. Oh, you're going to enjoy them. And healthcare access problems, because the architects of those problems are the people in charge. It's a scary 4 years.
Yeah.
And poor Susie Wiles, she never got over being the socially awkward girl that smelled like rancid yogurt, that the gay boys refused to dance with at the school parties and dances. And let's not forget about Bondi, Pam Bondi, Agent 2025, and her longtime hatred for the LGBTQ community. We are so fucked.
Oh, wow. And Marco Rubio. I can't even stand to say your name, all right? You have said so many negative things about Trump, and now you're licking his boots, all right? You don't represent me as a Latina, I'll tell you that, okay? You're the first Cuban person to be appointed to that seat, and I'm grossed out by it.
And mark my words, who's taking his place?
According to Vaughn, he believes that Governor DeSantis is going to appoint himself to that place after Marco Rubio dissolves it in some way, shape, or form.
Yep.
Scary shit.
It is.
Andrew?
I think it's time to move. But, you know, I was...
You ain't going nowhere. You talk a lot of smack.
But, you know, Marco Rubio is the most unqualified Secretary of State we have ever seen in this country's history. We may not all agree with everything the Republicans do, but this next 4 years are just another 4 years from before. It's just unqualified, uneducated, idiotic ideology. It's just, I mean, Pam Bondi sued Disney. I mean, who the hell? You're not going to win. Like,
Yeah.
Disney World is the largest company in the world, the most powerful besides Google, and they're going to own them eventually. They own everything else. So you're barking up wrong trees. DeSantis just needs to, a tornado needs to take out Tallahassee. I don't know, but he just needs to go. Marco Rubio, at least he's out of Florida.
No, you know what? That's looking at it from the bright side right there. I never thought about that.
He's out of Florida, so he's out of Florida politics. Hopefully he stays in D.C. and becomes a lobbyist or something, but at least he's gone.
Yeah, but it feels like it's going to be way worse than the first time around, right? I feel like we're back with an abusive ex-boyfriend that we didn't learn from the last time we got away from him, you know?
We'll have 12 changeovers in the first 90 days. I mean, how many chief of staffs did he go through in
A lot.
the first 4 years?
That's
I mean,
true.
We will go through 6 Secretary of States, 4 attorney generals. I mean, it's just roulette of politics for the next 4 years.
Yeah,
You're
it's a
fired,
game.
and you're fired,
And you're fired, and you're fired, you know. But it's a game, but it's a game with our lives.
Right.
That's the
Serious.
problem there, you know. Andrew, what's next, honey?
Next, let's queer up South Florida and Florida. The Bears of South Florida to give away $100,000 on December 8th. The Bears of South Florida are making waves, announcing a record-breaking $100,000 donation to the LGBT community during their annual holiday celebration on December 8th at the Westin Fort Lauderdale. This marks a stunning increase from just $16,000 3 years ago and $40,000 last year. The Bears of South Florida's efforts stemmed from hosting over 60 events while fostering community and support. This donation is believed to be the largest charitable donation of an LGBTQ special club in South Florida history. The holiday celebration promises festive fun, including a cocktail reception, a buffet dinner with carving stations, and performances by the Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida and the South Florida Pride Band. Tickets are $46. The dress is casual or holiday festive, making it a warm and inclusive space to celebrate this extraordinary achievement. Join the Bears of South Florida for a night of cheer and a toast to their inspiring generosity. Lucky beneficiaries include Island City Stage, Pride Center at Equality Park, Gay Men's Chorus of South Florida, Sunserve, South Florida Pride Band, Safe Schools, South Florida, Julian Fountain of Youth, Eagle Radio, Plays of Wilton, Pink Nail Society, and Sage. For further details, visit bosfl.org. I think it's amazing. I think Will and Brock have done an amazing job, along with the entire board of Bears of South Florida, to go from 14 to 60 to $100,000, all from monthly pool parties and bowling and movies and meetups, and just, it's really to build the community and to bring them all together. But to be able to do all of that and to still raise $100,000 to then turn it over to other charities in the community, and to give out those grants and those donations, they're to be commended. They've done an amazing job. I know Brock is always out there pushing the pavement to get donations and stuff for other events, and for I know Hunters does a lot for them for the bars and stuff like that, and the community does amazing things for them. And I think it's amazing that they're giving it back. So kudos to them.
Right, and I love that because you boys also take a playbook out of what they've been doing, right? And like, so for so many years, nonprofits or organizations just stick to themselves. Now it's time to collaborate, get with other organizations, make your list bigger and bigger so we can help and include more people and raise more money. 14,000 is fantastic. 100K is way better. You know, William Haas, who is also an anchor here at Queer News Tonight, sorry, Bears. I love William, and he like eats, sleeps, shits. Okay, his organization. That is what he does. That is what he does well. And I love that. Just like your organization as well. You know, Andrew, you bring to the light that the Bears are not just a fun group. It's not just all about fun. It's also about doing good for the community as well. You know, you mentioned hunters. They had an event where they were collecting bears. Bears collecting bears for kids going through horrible things during the holidays. What a beautiful sentiment. You know, I wish that these people that hate our community so much would take a moment and see these little things that we do, you know, because they're done without expecting anything in return, just to help a kid during Christmas hug a bear.
Yeah, to me, this is not surprising at all. Back from my very, very first days going out or going to like leather clubs or gay clubs, like the hot guys would not talk to me. I was not in that kind of circle, and the Bears were always the ones of, you know, come over, have a drink with us, and we'll talk with you openly with you. And I just remember it as always being like the first place where I felt included, even though I did not physically fit into the stereotype of what you would call a bear, welcomed with open arms.
It doesn't matter. There are thin bears. Right. That doesn't matter, right? I mean, right? Am I speaking wrong?
No,
I mean, an otter.
A bear is
right, I was saying
your
otter.
definition. Like it's how you identify how you, whether it's your chest hair or your burly or your weight or your size.
Or you love honey. Maybe you just love honey.
Or, you know, there's also bears that love skinny.
Yes,
skinny
there
guy.
are.
Like there's something for everybody in the community. It's not just about a size or a shape it's goes much beyond that.
And just a little, I don't know if, well, you might know because you're friends with him. Jonathan Casañas just did a wonderful spread in Instinct magazine.
Oh my God, I saw, yes.
About his work and
he's a muscle bear.
In that community. Yeah, gorgeous muscle bear. Definitely something to check out.
I think what's great is, and you guys kind of touched on it, but the smaller nonprofits, the problem is a lot of times they can't compete with the larger grants that are out there that for funding.
They don't have the writers for
it.
it.
They don't have the writers. They don't have people who can write grants for them. So the opportunity for organizations such as Bears of South Florida to do something like that makes an impact that these people normally could not have done. And I think that's great. And it looks like I'm booked till the 8th now.
We will not find Bond till the 8th, just to let you know, all right? What's next, Bond?
Oh my goodness, yes. Next, let's queer up gay culture. Hilarious reasons why Thanksgiving is a great holiday to come out. Thanksgiving has long been considered by some as a good time to come out. Its secular, reflective nature offers an opportunity to redefine yourself among loved ones. However, this tradition has its critics. Some argue that coming out during the holiday can feel uncomfortable with an air of calculated deviousness. Others call it unfair, as the setup might leave a friend bearing the brunt of the parental reactions. Worst of all, the underlying bad faith can turn the dinner table into a battleground rather than a place of gratitude. But comedian Alex Edelman found humor in his dynamic story. In his stand-up show, he shares a side-splitting tale of his fake coming out to his homophobic uncle. Every Thanksgiving for the 6 years straight, one year, his 88-year-old grandfather joined the festivities completely unaware of Alex's annual gag. Adding to the chaos, Alex brought along his friend Michael and teased the family with, "Michael and I have an announcement to make." Without missing a beat, his grandfather chimed in, "I've known since you were 9 years old." Edelman's hilarious prank reminds us that while Thanksgiving might not be ideal for everyone, we can still find a way to enjoy it. All I can say is read the room. If you're going to pull a prank, read the room.
Right? And 6 years in a row, what kind of unfunny family do you have, right? Like, by year 3, we're like, Faye, please.
Yeah.
Right? It would have been like, Faye, please. So, I mean, I mean, Thanksgiving is a rough table to come out at, all right? If you have to, for whatever reason, and I can't even imagine why that has to be, right? Just past the stuffing, I'm gay, is not enough anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? And especially with Trump coming into office. Like, so like I said at the beginning of this show, you know, my mother-in-law is a Trumpster, you know, the people who are coming to family dinner are voted for Trump, right? And I've called ahead and I said, hey, NTT, no Trump talk. Okay, if there is no, if NTT is okay for the whole dinner, then we'll have a great time. You know, if the conversation turns that way, we're not going to be we're not going to be saying thank you for all that we've gotten this year. We're going to be pretty pissed off, and it's not going to go well.
The late, great gay comedian Bob Smith told a joke about what he described as his, quote, carefully worded, end quote, coming out announcement at Thanksgiving. He said, "Mom, would you please pass the gravy to a homosexual?"
Oh, that's a good
And
one.
she passed the gravy to Bob's father.
I can see why a lot of people do it though at Thanksgiving, because it's like if you're going to go through all the trauma and people talking to each other and then having to update this.
Maybe they're all together.
You're
Rip the Band-Aid.
ripping the Band-Aid off.
Right.
My idea though is like, what if we took this joke back and started coming out as straight?
Ooh.
I'll bring you to Thanksgiving.
I love that. I'll
Be
bring
like,
you to Thanksgiving.
"Look,
I'll be like, look.
I've done some serious conversion therapy and some introspection." But you're absolutely right. Though the APA, the American Psychological Association, says nearly 89% of U.S. adults reported feeling concerns about financial stress, missing loved ones, anticipating family conflicts, all this stuff that arises in the holiday season. So bravo for bringing some lighthearted humor into that.
And he's gay, right? The comedian, is he gay?
He is.
Because if he's straight, that shit's not funny. I mean, there's a big difference in everything I said if he's straight.
No, I
think he's
he's
straight.
straight.
I think he is straight, which is what makes it funny.
Right.
Yeah.
He's just pulling a prank on his.
I don't know.
Right.
I'm trying to still figure out where the grandfather was for the first 3 years. That all of a sudden he just jumps in and knows he's been gay since he was 9. That's just. Did he not have his hearing aids
And
on?
maybe this proves
The first 5 years, it wasn't funny to him, you know?
This proves the point. Funny is funny, regardless of what your affiliation is.
Yeah.
Definitely a good skit though.
Right? No, but I'm still liking the whole coming out as straight, right? Like, just like, oh, after careful review of my last 25 years of being gay, I have decided that no, I like the D. I got a D pic in my Instagram, and I can't stop thinking about it.
Due to politics, we just got to change it up for the next 4 years. I'm going to be
you can't
straight.
We want to stay alive.
I'm gonna live straight for the next 4 years until we have a new president, and then I'll reevaluate.
That just made me itch.
I'm just saying.
Saying that made me itch. All right, Mark, what's next?
Next, let's queer up gay culture. The gays host Hallmark's over-the-top Christmas cruise. The Hallmark
Next up, the Hallmark Channel. While we're on the topic, earlier this month they launched their first ever Christmas cruise to a pinch of excitement. And that, of course, is Mean Girls and Hallmark Channel star Jonathan Bennett crowd surfing through the cruise. And guys, this was such a hit, this cruise. It was such a success. They've already announced that the ship's going to hit the seas again next year. The second annual Hallmark Christmas cruise is scheduled to set sail from Miami to Cozumel. That is November 6, 2025. So if you are already making plans for next Christmas, keep it to yourself. It's too early.
It's too early.
Pre-sale tickets.
Come on, field trip.
It's coming.
Jenna should go on it because she's a Hallmark star now.
Oh, she should go on that. Yes,
Jenna and
that's
Mama
a good
Kelsey.
idea. Let's just get through Thanksgiving before we start getting through Christmas.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m.
The Hallmark Channel made waves in the LGBT community with its first ever Christmas-themed cruise, which set sail earlier this month to the Bahamas. The 4-night voyage quickly sold out with tickets disappearing just hours after becoming available. It was so popular they had to add a second sailing. Guests had the opportunity to enjoy a variety of festive activities, including Christmas karaoke, cookie decorating, an ugly sweater contest, and panels with 11 of the network's popular actors. Among them was beloved Hallmark icon Jonathan Bennett, who served as the official host and earned the title of MVP of the event. His husband, James Vaughn, and Hunter King's fiancée, Chris Copier, received honorable mentions for their unwavering support, cheering on their partners throughout the cruise. Bennett kept the energy high with his dynamic hosting, leading events such as Festive Feud, a holiday twist on the classic Family Feud. His natural charisma made him a fan favorite, and his hilarious performance left guests wondering if he might one day take over for Steve Harvey. The heartwarming moments of the cruise mirrored the spirit of Hallmark films, especially during the groomsmen panel. Bennett became emotional when discussing the trilogy he co-wrote and produced, which featured a groundbreaking gay wedding for Hallmark. He expressed gratitude for the network, acknowledging that the event wouldn't have been possible without everyone's support, from the actors to the executives on board. One particularly touching encounter occurred when Bennett met a woman from Texas who thanked him for being a role model to her gay son, who's a fan of Bennett's films. The moment of connection underscored the cruise's significance as not just a festive getaway, but also a powerful celebration of LGBTQ visibility and acceptance within the Hallmark family. As for Jonathan Bennett, Vanity Fair crowned him Gay King of Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. They could have just shortened that to Christmas Queen, and I think
Right, it would have been fine. It would have still worked.
I would have gone along with it. And congratulations to everyone who had to hold up that man's butt for crowd surfing. I'm surprised they even returned him back to the stage.
Gosh.
So is Hallmark the people who do Christmas in July? Do we know that? Anybody know that? Because I hate that. Okay, I don't need to see Christmas in freaking July, all right? I don't know, because that's what I was going to say, right? It's so funny you said that, Andrew, because I usually can't, I could not know which one was which, right? The Lifetime Channel or Hallmark. But the thing is that one supports our community and the other one doesn't, right?
Hallmark supports the community.
No, 100%. Hallmark supports our community so much that it's actually revered as an incredible place to work for, you know, as an LGBTQ plus person. So I even like them even more now.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Lifetime was long known as TV for gay men because they always showed the Golden Girls reruns. But Jonathan Bennett and his husband James Vaughn put the cruisy back into the
I love that.
I just want to be on the cruise with the 11 other actors. I mean,
right?
What better way to stay gay than in international waters?
I love it.
Right?
One of the few places you might be left to do it.
That's it. Greg, what's
Next, let's clear up South Florida and Florida. Alfredo Olvera attempts to become Broward County Democrats' top leader. The Broward Democratic Party faces a pivotal leadership battle following disappointing election results and growing concerns about its future. Now, Alfredo Olvera, a gay Hispanic immigrant and state Democratic committeeman, for Broward, is challenging incumbent chair Rick Hoy for the top spot. Olvera, a Fort Lauderdale realtor, warned that without drastic changes, the party could face future losses, with Republicans gaining ground in Broward County. He said, quote, "If we don't change the game in Broward County, we're going to have Republicans win. The margin for our elected officials was too small," end quote. Olvera is known for his activism within the LGBTQ community as president of the Dolphin Democrats. He believes that the party must expand its reach and develop stronger connections with voters. Hoy, who has chaired the Broward Democratic Party since 2020, pointed to the 406,000 Democrats who voted in the 2024 election, a high turnout despite growing Republican efforts in the county. The party's future will be decided at the December 7th election, where Democratic committeemen and lawmakers will choose the next leader. The outcome could shape the direction of the Broward County Democratic Party. History will be made if Olvera wins as the first out Broward chair in history. To quote Olvera, quote, "The margin for our elected officials was too small for comfort," end quote. I mean, just think about that. Let's hope that if he gets the gig, that he can make a difference and bring change, because it is desperately needed here.
So needed. And Alfredo is a no-nonsense Latino, right? He don't take no shit, okay? I love him as president of the Dolphin Democrats, and one of the first things that he did was he appointed a black trans woman to be his right hand as vice president of the Dolphin Dems, Adriana Tender, right? And why did he do that? Because he wanted that reach, because he wanted that inclusivity, because he wanted that unification, right? And this was before this election that we just had, right? So he now knows that more than ever, he needs to put his boots to the ground. And a lot of people are running away. He's running to the fire. You know, that is what he's doing. So December 7th, we're not done. We still need to go out and vote. Local level is more important now than ever. We're constantly screaming about that. But we've seen what happens when the Trumpsters appoint their own into local levels, especially in the school boards and educational aspects of it, you know? So vote in Alfredo. Make sure he gets the spot. We need him to represent us. Next, let's queer up travel. The South Florida Symphony Orchestra presents Handel's Messiah and Holiday Pops at the Parker. The South Florida Symphony Orchestra will be presenting a holiday concert on December 7th at the Parker at 7:30 p.m. The concert will feature holiday pop favorites such as Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree, Christmas Song, Chestnuts Roasting on an Open Fire, I can't believe I just sang, All I Want for Christmas Is You, Ocho Candelicas, I love that, I gotta learn that one, Ave Maria, and the Dreidel Song. The orchestra will close the joyous evening with part one of Handel Messiahs, culminating with the iconic Hallelujah chorus as sung by the South Florida Symphony Chorus. Composer George Frederick Handel was not only rumored to be part of the LGBTQ plus community, but was revered by many greats, including Mozart, who once said, quote, "When he chooses, he strikes like a thunderbolt," end quote. Find out more at visitlauderdale.com. You know, we should never forget our past, right? And some of these Christmas songs really do catapult us back to certain times when things were simpler and things might have been a little easier, you know? And maybe we don't all agree on a lot of stuff, but I think that we can all agree that when we hear certain Christmas songs, they put us in a mood. They put us in a nice mood, you know? For me, I've always had like a real hard relationship with church, right? Just because, you know, from a young age, you're told you're an abomination and that if you're gay, you're going to jail and stuff like that. So songs like Ave Maria and stuff like that took me some time to be able to sit with, to enjoy, to not feel like it was a persecution song, you know? And I think that a lot of LGBTQ plus people might feel that way, you know? So sit and go to this concert, be in a safe space, take it all in and allow yourself to enjoy this incredible music that really represents all faiths.
Yeah, we may be ideologically very, very separate, but it is impossible to ignore the unity that you see in a room when a song like Hallelujah is being played. Like you feel it in your heart, you're lifted, and you really do feel that connection. So.
And did you see that picture of Handel with her hand on her hip? She's a little teapot.
When he strikes, it's like a lightning bolt.
Right. Mozart said it.
And I think it's swell that they're including Ocho Candelicas and the Dreidel Song in the program. Musical diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Go figure.
Imagine. That is today's news for the LGBTQ community on the world's first and only daily LGBTQ evening news show.
If our community is important to you, share this news with your friends and family. Join the conversation on your favorite streaming platform.
Queer News Tonight is the only live LGBTQ digital television show in the world that is out of the closet and into the headline. We need your support if our community is to grow. We must tell our stories and bring them to the attention of the broader world.
This is the only place in the world that tells these types of stories, LGBTQ stories in motion and sound. That's the passion of Hotspots Magazine, Happening Out Television Network, and Queer News Tonight.
That's right, Mark, and I'm your anchor at Queer News Tonight, FayWhat! I love that. And on behalf of these LGBTQ plus reporters, the incredible kick-ass anchors of Queer News Tonight, including Vaughn Biggs, Andrew Lord, Mark Pettitt, and Gregg Shapiro. We will see you daily at 8 p.m. To our LGBTQ plus world, we wish you good night.